If you're looking for a comedy sports drama with a heart of gold, then check out Champions. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass, and I'm here to talk to you about Champions, which is coming to theaters on March 10th, 2023. It's a new comedy sports drama starring Woody Harrelson, Kaitlin, Olson, and Cheech Marin. The film is actually a remake of a Spanish film. I think it's called Champions. And like in some American-made remakes of foreign films, it's fun, it's good, it has a great underlying story and core, but I think ultimately I didn't love the execution. My hot take is, look, this is kind of on the border of a rent or a watch. I think ultimately it's more on the rental side, but if you watch it, I think you'll enjoy it. It's a fun kind of inspirational sports movie that has comedy and drama aspects, but really focuses on the drama and the underlying message. I really liked the kind of the heart in the film, the underlying themes that were developed, and overall, I liked the ending a lot more than I expected to. But the film wasn't as funny as I was hoping it would be, and it has a slow start. So ultimately, I think it's a rental, but if you check this out in theaters, you'll probably enjoy it. Let me tell you a little bit about the film, a few things I liked and a few things I didn't like. So, in Champions, you have Woody Harrelson playing a coach who has kind of fallen from grace. He is in the developmental league in Des Moines, Idaho, and he has an incident that forces him to coach at a local community rec center where he is kind of coaching this team of 10 disabled persons who are known as the Friends. They are competing in the Special Olympics. It's a nationwide tournament, and he is kind of forced into this position. And as you would imagine, in a comedy sports drama, in this situation, he learns more about them and himself than he ever thought he would. So, things I liked about this movie. The first, look, I liked the message. I really loved how this film is all about trying to kind of get past preconceptions about people and especially disabled persons. I love how it really made a point of showing that each of the athletes had a very full life, a very different life than I think you would expect, and had all sorts of different talents that don't come through when you just kind of look at them. And I think the film did a really good job of focusing that and weaving that into the whole story. There was one athlete who was like just brilliant in very specific things, like he had encyclopedic knowledge of certain things, and those came up throughout. There was one athlete who loved pets and was volunteering at an animal shelter, and he was the person that was very interested in pets. Each athlete had this like backstory that really came through and really kind of shown throughout the film. And the second thing I loved is the heart. Like, this is definitely a warm, fuzzy kind of movie that you're going to leave with a good feeling. It focuses on the characters and the drama and really kind of drives it home, especially towards the end. Another thing I liked is the ending. I was writing in my notes, like, I was like, this is going to be a predictable sports ending. And I kind of expected it to be, but it actually bucked the trend a little bit. There were some things in the ending that I didn't predict, like what I kind of thought was going to happen. I love how it did a different kind of situation to drive home the underlying message of this movie, and it really kind of ties everything together. Look, the last thing I loved is just kind of the cast. Like, this is a really good cast. You know, Woody Harrelson, Kaitlin Olson, Cheech Marin, Ernie Hudson, they all do great, but kind of the stars of this show are the Friends, the 10 disabled persons who they got to play the athletes in this film. They all do a great job. Each one, like I said in the underlying message, each one feels like a fully fleshed out character. And I love I love the sense of inclusiveness. I love the sense of kind of authenticity that they have in this film. That was definitely something I really enjoyed. So, things I didn't love as much, it's not as funny as I was expecting. There are definitely funny moments. There are definitely humorous situations, but kind of with this cast, I was expecting more laugh out loud moments. Now, maybe they kind of focused more on the heart and the drama, which is maybe why it's not as funny as I was expecting. But still, it's kind of a comedy drama. You expect a little bit more comedy, and there were definitely entertaining moments, but not enough to like really tickle my funny bone. And the last thing I didn't really love is it kind of has a slow start. Like, they have to set up everything, but it takes a bit to get going, and so it takes a while to like really kind of drive home some of the messages and things like that. So if you watch this, stick with it because it definitely picks up after kind of the introduction, after like the first maybe 30 minutes of it. It definitely kind of gets a lot better. So stay with it. So now I'm going to go quickly into the ending, very, very briefly, not a ton, but I just want to kind of explain why I love the ending so much. So if you don't want to know anything about the film, you don't want to know what happens in the ending, turn it off now. Champions is coming to theaters on March 10th, 2023, so you can check it out then. But if you want to know what happens, if you want to know why I really like the ending, then let's keep going. So in Champions, the athletes, they're all playing to try to get to the Special Olympics North American like national championship, which is being held in Winnipeg, Canada. And so they're playing, they're coming together as a team, and eventually they do make it. They make it in the last game, after some personal drama, after some drama with the team, they finally make it up there. They're playing the game. The other team is the Beast. And so you have this great kind of contrast between the Friends and the Beasts. And they're like, there's no way we can beat them because A, they're the Friends, and B, they're the Beasts. And also, the Beasts are much bigger. But thankfully, they work together. They do a really good job. They get behind in the first half, but in the second half, they start to come together and play strong. And it comes down to 1 point. Now, Marcus, played by Woody Harrelson, draws up a play, and he's ready to go. He's, got everything figured out. They run the play, and the person who has the ball, he does a pick and roll, he gets the ball, and he's right at the basket, ready for a layup, but one of the other teammates goes, I'm open, and so he passes the ball to him because he was open, and that person is known as, the person who gets the ball is known as Showtime. His claim to fame is he shoots every shot backwards. So he turns around, lobs up in the air, and then he does a dance after. So as you'd expect, he does that. And in my notes, I was like, okay, so he's going to make it. He's going to sink it. Finally going to make the shot. He misses it, which I was a little surprised at. It hits the rim. He had apparently never hit the rim before that. It hits the rim, bounces a couple times, and then falls out. So you would think in a normal sports movie, everyone would be like disheartened because they had the win, they had the victory. It was an easy layup, and the person who took the shot eventually misses it. They lose the championship. They were so close. They were 1 point away. But not in this movie. In this movie, everyone says, like, Showtime hit the rim. Like, he's never done that. He hit the rim. That was a great shot. And they all kind of run out and give him a hug and kind of like congratulate him. And they're just happy to like be here. Like, the other team wins. Confetti starts to stream down. They're all kind of cheering each other on, saying how good of a job they did, how far they went. And eventually that kind of infects Marcus, Woody Harrelson's character, and he starts to kind of appreciate that as well. That, in their minds and what he kind of said to them at halftime, they're already champions. They've already kind of made it this far. And so the game is just the game, but it's the journey for them that was kind of like the important thing. And the friendships that they had. They all became, and the friendships they had along the way. So I like that part. I really liked how it kind of flipped the inspirational sports message on its head. And then later on, you find out that Woody Harrelson, who had been trying to get an NBA job and had kind of secured one in Seattle for a developmental league, he was being used as a band-aid to cover up a PR nightmare for this Seattle team, unnamed Seattle team. And he decides he's not going to take the job. He's not going to be kind of like the fix for their problems. So he turns it down. He decides to stay in Des Moines, stay close to his growing friendships and relationship. And eventually his friend, played by Ernie Hudson, who he like got in a dispute with at the start, kind of was one of the reasons he fell from grace, had seen his transformation, had stuck by his friend, and in the end, we find out that he got him a job as the coach at Drake, so he can stay in Idaho, he can stay close to his new friends, he can stay close to his relationship, and he also feels better about his overall job. So again, like I said, I liked the ending. I thought it was a really good job. It's a really good, heartfelt movie. I kind of think this maybe is a like rent or watch. It's kind of on that borderline. I think, if you check it out, you're going to enjoy it. It's a pretty fun movie. So that is Champions. It comes to theaters on March 10th, 2023. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.